there, done that, and it seems like all of us have been there, done that with these different things and are reaching together, working together. Tom went with me on the trip down to Ruskin, Florida, when we went to a Spodiotes event, and we had a great time. And now, and we lost fifth gear in North Carolina, which was interesting with a bungee cord, and you know, and then it went completely, and then fourth gear, revving probably 4,000 RPM, trying to get back up the road. We made it and laughed about it and everything else. So we've become buddies as a result. Tom has done some excellent replications. If you can look at some of the stuff here, you'll not find finer work anywhere in our community. This Bob Boy cell over here, the 61 plate cell, look at the bubblers. I mean, I make my bubblers out of Gatorade bottles, okay? Look at these bubblers, they're beautiful, all right? That unit under there is a Carl Sella replication. That was one of the first units that he ever put together. And if you remember Carl Sella, the guy from the heavy metal band Rampage, you read about him on the internet, and he had a design that supposedly ran a car. This is the design. It's never run his car, and it's, I don't know that it's ever been replicated but one guy, and Tom can tell you a little bit about that. But what he's mostly going to tell you about is the Bedini wheel. The Bedini wheel has some unique characteristics. John Bedini is a genius of a man, and he's educating people in different ways. This is going to get the primer started, get you thinking. Then we're going to take you to some Tesla work. From the Tesla work, we're going to take you to some groundbreaking work that's never been publicly presented. So please, stick around. Thanks. Tom, to you. Tom Thayer.
Thank you. What I'll do is I'll start by talking just very briefly about the electrolyzers here. This is a Bob Boyce unit, like he said, a 61 plate unit. We had tested down in Florida at some laboratory facilities. It's producing just over 9 liters a minute with relatively inaccurate measuring flow meters. I'd be interested in finding out. I guess Cody has some equipment here that can measure flow rates to a hundredth of a liter per minute or something like that. I'm anxious to see this on that device to find out what the exact flow rates are. This was originally designed to run Mazda RX-7, but we made some modifications to it so that we could run a generator with it instead. It's stainless steel plates, 6x6 stainless steel plates, uses sodium hydroxide as an electrolyte, and if we were allowed to release hydroxy into this room, I'd give you a demonstration right here, but I'm told that I'm supposed to run it outside. And all I can tell you is, Jake Wall, when I was at the Ruskin event back in October in Ruskin, Florida, Jake Wall took some videos of this which are posted on YouTube, and you can see what kind of gas production it gets, but it really cranks out the gas. This unit was an 18-year-old guy by the name of Carl Cella. One of the first things that I came across back in 2002 when I first started getting into hydrogen technology, we came across a handwritten illustration on the internet in which he showed this device. He described all the parts to it, and he said that he claimed that he'd run a 70s vintage Cadillac with it. And my friend Jim that's over here had come up to me and said, this was back in January of 2002, he said, you know, I just heard about somebody who's run a car on water, and why don't we look into it? So when I looked into it, this was the first one that I came across. I built it, and I knew so little about hydrogen technology at the time that couldn't get it to work. But I've since figured out how to make it work, but haven't had time to get back into it. This is a much better unit over here. And in the meantime, I was in communication with a guy from the UK who was into this technology, and a friend of his from Scotland, a guy by the name of George, was able to make this work, and he ran I think it was a 1996 Mercedes with this unit. So that's the only reports I've heard outside of Carl Cella of ever getting this unit to work. And quite frankly, I have no idea how, considering that this has 3 electrodes, these are the 3 electrodes that can be, Carl claimed that he only used one at a time until it got so badly corroded that he would have to go to the next one. But I can't see how you could even remotely begin to operate it unless you were using all 3 electrodes. That's, you know, one of the electrodes. The other electrode is the body of the unit itself. And so I've had it sitting around collecting dust for the years, and just sort of like to keep it as a museum piece. And as far as I can tell, that's about all it's useful for now. But a lot of work went into it, and people have asked me on the, I've been participating in 4 different water car forums, and questions come up from time to time about Carl Cella, and so I posted the photographs of this unit so that people can see what the Carl Cella unit is like.